And now you have yet another person in your sights. And this is someone now, we've got a multi-billionaire who makes a lot of money off of real estate and TV shows, who you could say gets paid to be a bully, and he has received the ire of Angelo, someone I think probably people shouldn't mess with. I think they should know that if you bully people, you may have Angelo on your tail. Enter Donald Trump. Let's talk about that. Donald Trump, who headed up the birther issue against President Obama. Donald Trump, who threatened to sue you. Tell us more about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has mastered the art of media manipulation. He really has. He has taken advantage of a system of media in which anything that you could potentially commercialize is rewarded. So, for example, his lucrative deal with Macy's, which is that the basic relationship is Macy's invests in and builds his brand, and in return they get a ton of free advertising. Donald Trump says, and he does this deliberately. He says it's a very clear formula. He says something inappropriate or what would be considered controversial or offensive, or regardless, because he knows that it's bait for bloggers and media figures and entertainment reporters and late night talk. He knows he'll get a seat down on one of the late night host couch, or he'll get a spot on cable news, or he'll get a mention. And then when he does that, he'll couple that with whatever he's promoting at the time, his show, an event, his new product, whatever it be. And so he does these things in order to get some free media, which he can then commercialize. And so NBC knows this, Macy's knows this, and they piggyback onto it because they know it's a ton of free promotion and publicity.
And so that's the old adage that there's no such thing, all PR is good PR. There's no such thing as bad PR.
That's right, and that's exactly the same. It's a very similar issue to what we have with the Beck and the Limbaughs, that there used to be this perverse incentive. Now that's been, in some ways, at least addressed and identified. There used to not be a line in the sand when it came to some of these talkers, and now there at least is a line in the sand. And it's similar with Donald Trump, that here we have someone in which it used to be the case that all press was good press, and now that's not the case anymore, because now if you try to engage in what would be considered totally inappropriate conduct. If I went into Macy's and said stuff that Donald Trump said, they'd throw me out. If I spoke like Donald Trump on a subway in New York City, they'd push me out. Same like with Rush Limbaugh, same with Glenn Beck. That's the general policy, and I think calculus that I bring to these things is, how would you react if we were all on a subway car and someone was saying these kinds of things? You'd expect someone to say, "Hey, calm down there, pal," and that's good society, and that's what makes it work. And I think it's the same thing here, where here you have a guy who was previously incentivized and rewarded and encouraged to engage in that kind of conduct because he got something out of it, and now we're going right at the incentive, and we're saying, it's not a case of expressing your opinions or anything like that. It's that you're deliberately trying to manipulate the media, which has consequences for people. Forget about the fact that there's actually victims, right? I mean, he took out a full-page ad during the Central Park 5 thing, to put those people, to get the death penalty reinstated for those folks. I mean, Donald Trump has no problem spending money in order to damage people because he knows he can ride a promotional wave for it. And it's and the basic bottom line is, what's the incentive? What's encouraging you to do this? You're being rewarded for this. Well, we need to isolate that, identify it, and take that incentive away. And that's ultimately what the Trump thing is about. We're saying that, Macy's knows they get real rewards out of this, and ultimately it's not only inconsistent with Macy's brand, and it's bad for their own business, but it's not the kind of thing that a responsible corporate actor should be trying to take advantage of and encouraging through these relationships, which is effectively what they do.